Look at that. Bonk. Hello everyone. Today is Thanksgiving. So it is very obvious that we have to cook the Thanksgiving meat. A steak, a very big steak. It's so big that I can barely hold it. You can see that it is actually bigger than my face. And it's very thick too. You can probably murder someone with this steak. Just bonk. Send them straight to the horny hell. Bonk. But anyways, today we are not here to bonk people. We are here to eat the steak for Thanksgiving. I hate turkey. There's no way I will eat a turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. I think Thanksgiving, the spirit of Thanksgiving is to cook something big and maybe be thankful for having something this big. If you cook something small, you have nothing to be thankful for. Like if you have this tiny mandarin for dinner, you have nothing to be thankful for. People should be thanking you for eating all the mandarins, so people can enjoy their big fat steak and turkeys. When you see this steak, you must think, I must have a big family to feed. Wrong, this is all for myself. Because social distancing, you should stay at home and eat your own steak and turkey. Maybe not a turkey, because a turkey is too much for 1 or 2 people. Unless you live with your family or in your mom's basement. That would make sense. You should make a good big turkey, but not for me. I can only eat this big steak. Not complaining though, because this is 100 times better than a turkey. Anyways, enough of the talking, let's cook it. My arms is pretty tired, this is really heavy. Bonk. Before I start cooking, remember to bonk the like button and subscribe now for the YouTube algorithm. Bonk. For this beef today, I'm not following any recipe because I don't think a lot of people cook a steak this big. But you gotta remember, a steak this big needs to be dry brine for some time. Otherwise, in the inside, it's going to taste like nothing. Okay, now that we got salt everywhere, it's time to wait for a few hours, maybe overnight, but I don't have overnight because this is 5 p.m. of the Thanksgiving evening, so I need to get better at planning. I didn't plan to cook this. I was planning to cook a small filet mignon, but when I go to the grocery store, this is the only thing left. So remember to always go to the grocery store early for Thanksgiving. But this is going to be good anyway, and it's going to be bigger. So no complaints there. Maybe some complaints afterwards when I am dying of food coma. Let's time skip to 3 hours later. Here I am with our dry brine steak. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse sear the steak. I'm going to bake it in a low temperature, 250 Fahrenheit, until the internal temperature with a thermometer reaches how much? It says on the thermometer 145. That's for medium rare. Pat it dry. Spray some oil. Pat the other side dry. Insert our thermometer right in the middle. In the oven, middle rack. Okay, now that the steak is in the oven, let's make some seasoning butter because it's such a big steak and it's going to taste like nothing if there's no seasoning butter or sauce anyways. My philosophy for what herbs goes into the seasoning butter is very simple. If it's green, it goes in. Yes, so we got rosemary, sage, garlic powder, very green, dill and thyme, and a lot of cilantro in my hand that I just picked in my fridge. Ooh. Ooh. Some might ask, why don't I use parsley? Because cilantro is just battered parsley. It's the fact. Some rosemary, some sage, garlic powder. I cannot see the bowl from my angle, but whatever amount is good for garlic powder. Dill, thyme, stick of butter, lemon juice. I gotta be honest, this time is the first time I cook a steak this big, and it's the first time I make seasoning butter. Yet I'm here teaching you how to make steak and seasoning butter. Some people believe in first time expert. I think you do, but I don't. But trust me, my steak and seasoning butter is going to be great. Put the butter into my sandwich bag so it becomes a sandwich butter. Okay, in the fridge we go. Okay, this was seared to an internal temperature of 140 Fahrenheit. I'm wondering, how the hell am I going to sear this thing? Anyways, I'm going to use my wok, as I use my wok for anything. Here is my favorite way of searing. Heat the oil until smoking and put the steak in. However, it's obvious that the steak was too big, so only half of it can touch the oil, so half of it was seared. This was around 12:30 a.m. midnight, by the way. The bake took 3 hours, way longer than I expected, and it's no longer Thanksgiving anymore. So I was like, whatever. What's wrong with a half-seared steak anyways? When the two sides are obviously burned, for the most part, it's time to take it out. Okay, our big bonk steak rested for 10 minutes. Here we are. Did I forget anything? Sandwich butter. Now, for the big bonk steak. To be honest, I am very curious how this will turn out. I've never tried making a steak this big, so definitely something new for me. First thing I'm going to try is playing without this cilantro butter. Let's cut it open and see what's inside. Ooh, look at that. Kind of pink. According to the thermometer, it should be 145, but it seems to be cooking after reaching that. I took it out of the oven when it's 140. It seems that it continued cooking itself after taking it out of the oven, so it's not as rare as I want it to be, but still, look at that. Oh. Still a very desirable color. Also very uniform because of the reverse sear. I don't think you can do such big a steak without doing it low and slow, because it's either going to overcook or undercook. Let's try out the flavor. Ooh, it is very soothing to cut it open. Try it out. So it's only seasoned with salt currently. It actually tastes pretty savory. It doesn't taste bland at all. I think that's because of the dry brine. And it's very beefy, very tender, very enjoyable steak flavor. Let's try out the steak with my cilantro butter. It has to make it better. It's not melting. Come on, man. I'll just try the dry butter anyways. Okay. Steak with cilantro butter going in. Now, it definitely has more flavor to it than only seasoned with salt. However, this butter, I don't know, there's a bit of a fridge flavor to it. So maybe what we need to do is to melt the butter first and then put it on the steak. The butter is still pretty good. I would definitely prefer it with butter than without. I don't have a professional food blowtorch, so I'm going to use my shitty lighter. Didn't work at all. Never mind. Okay, another bite going in. Good. I have to say, this is a very enjoyable steak. It's very thick and it's very big. With every bite into this steak, I got the feeling of desperation. How the hell am I going to finish such a big steak? This cost me 40 bucks. I better eat the whole thing. And it's going to taste like shit tomorrow because steak doesn't age well. But I have to say, with the current bite, it tastes really good. It's kinda like eating steak, but bigger. Basically bigger steak. The cilantro butter is the first time I use cilantro in a steak with a steak. I think it does bring some flavor to it. It makes the steak taste a lot more soapy, more like soap. Some people don't like soap. For those people, I have advice for you. Please take more showers. The cilantro does mediate the steak's greasiness, makes it feel lighter. Although it comes in butter, it actually brings more oil than it was before. Now speaking of oil, let's talk about the health aspect of this. By adding the butters, it definitely is not very healthy. Also, I seared this steak in oil, so there's probably more oil in this steak than in 5 Big Macs. I don't know, I just made up that number, but that's basically the number that you have to believe in. However, we only have Thanksgiving once a year, so why not? Why not just enjoy the evening and not worry about eating healthy? Wait, are you even thinking about eating healthy? Please do think about eating healthy, because you are what you eat. I eat a lot of pig ass, so I eat a lot of pig butt, so I'm a kind of a pig butt. But if you're a vegan, definitely try this out, because it's got all the cilantro in it. The cilantro makes this steak so much better, even for a vegan person. Alright, that's it for today. I'm going to finish off this steak, and I'm going to see you soon. And I have a feeling that I cannot finish this steak this night, but smash like and subscribe now for the YouTube algorithm.